So let's take a peek inside the heart and look at some of the internal structures that we can see. So if I take my high resolution heart image and I'm going to use my clipping tool and make a cut so that we can see inside the heart. So there we go. We can see at this point our 4 chambers. So we have right atrium, right ventricle, left atrium, and left ventricle underneath. Okay, some structures that we can see on the inside here. In that right atrium, you can see folds in the walls of the atrium, and these are called pectinate muscles. And so pectinate muscles are going to be found inside the right atrium. They're muscular folds that we see in the wall. We also have them in the left atrium, but they tend to be only present in the auricle on the left side. But those are pectinate muscles, and so those are going to be the muscular folds. Another interesting landmark that we can see when we do a frontal plane section of the heart like this is the interatrial septum. And so this is going to be the wall that separates the right atrium from the left atrium. And so that's going to be this structure right here. This is our interatrial septum separating the 2 chambers. Now, some other structures that are important. If we come down to our ventricles, we have a very similar setup. So we have an interventricular septum, and septum means wall. And so we're going to see the same thing here in the ventricles. So we're going to have this interventricular septum that's separating the 2 walls of the ventricles. Another interesting thing to notice with the ventricles is if you look at the left ventricle, look at the thickness of this wall on the left side as compared to the thickness on the right side. And so that's basically muscular hypertrophy of the muscular layer of the heart tissue because that left ventricle is pumping out blood against a greater resistance. It's got to pump throughout the whole body. So some other interesting structures that we can see in the ventricles are Trabeculae Carne, and these are going to be muscular folds in the wall of the ventricles. And then we're going to have certain areas where that the walls of the ventricles kind of extend or protrude into papillary muscles. So each ventricle tends to contain about 2 or 3 papillary muscles, and these serve as attachment sites for chordae tendineae. They help to anchor the valves. So let's take a look. If we look at the ventricle, you can see the muscular folds in the wall of the ventricle, these in the wall of the ventricles, and they would be Trabeculae Carne. Now, you can see in certain areas where those muscular folds protrude. So here, they serve as an attachment site for chordae tendineae, or those heartstrings. So indicated in blue here would be papillary muscles.